What's going on, guys? Tony Ivanov here. This is a new look for my YouTube channel. I know I have decided to change my YouTube channel from Ivanov Trades to a personal brand. I talked more about this in last night's video, so please go check that out. It's about my vinyl wrapping shop and my just how I'm going to be changing my my path for my brand. So please go check that out. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you want to see more videos like that, because I'd be happy to share with you how I got into vinyl wrapping, how I got into making that a business, and just stuff like that. So, but today I'm gonna mainly be focusing on trading penny stocks. I'm sorry I did not release a video last night on my SoupQ trade. I got home way too late after working at the shop, and I fell asleep. So I'm sorry about that. I'll be making another video later today about my trade today on CAPR. So be sure you stick around for that. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Might as well do it now because you know you're going to, so do it. But first, I wanted to bring you guys into my Facebook group. It's called the Day Traders Club. It's a group of day traders, swing traders, long-term investors who trade NASDAQs, OTCs, Forex, cryptocurrencies, everything. And it's a group of around 256 members now, who trade, we give each other opinions, watch lists, strategies, how to grow a small account, and just talk about stocks in general. So it's a very good community to join, and it's a really good resource for your trading. So there's a link down below. Make sure you join it. Also, I wanted just to break down my screen for anyone who's new. On this left side here, this is eTrade Pro. On the right side, this is Equity Feed. This is my #1 go-to scanner. If you want to try this out, free for 2 weeks, no credit card needed. There's a link down below for that. This is how I find all my stocks to trade. There's also a news streamer. Let me bring that over. A news streamer. There's different watch lists and alerts. So it's a really good resource. I have a video covering all of that, so you can go find it. But let me just bring this away. Let me close this down. Or actually, not yet. So let's talk about SoupQ and why I traded it yesterday, and how I found out about it. So how I found out about it was from Equity Feed. I would, in the morning, whenever the market opens, I don't rank by dollar volume first. I always rank by percent change first, because I want to see what's moving the fastest right out of the gates. And I saw SoupQ was right out of the gates. It was up, like, I think it was already up like 100% in like the first minute. And because this is a recent runner, I knew that this had legs. I knew that it could really go. But I didn't see any news on my Equity Feed news streamer, nor did I see any news on OTCmarkets.com. So I didn't really understand why it was running, and because I didn't completely understand why it was running, I didn't want to just jump right into it right away. But one thing that I could have used to tell me that I should jump in is just the massive amounts of volume right out the gate. So you can see the first 2 minutes here. The first 2 minutes of the market open, we traded 1.77 million shares, and it just held around 1 million shares every 2 minutes for the first 10 minutes. That's a lot of buying pressure. That's a lot of volume. I was thinking about getting into a dip at around 0.015, but I missed my entry, and I just didn't really want to even try to play it because I didn't know why it was up. What I should have done is, right when I saw it moving out the gates in the morning, I should have typed in on Twitter $SoupQ, and I should have been able to easily see that there was news about their bankruptcy being over. Now the thing about this news is that they've been out of bankruptcy. It's been known for like the past 2 weeks now. And this PR was released on some really low grade news wire. So it wasn't released on any streamers like Equity Feed, even OTC markets, which is kind of surprising because that's the OTC market. They have all the news for all these stocks. So once I saw the news on Twitter, that gave me confidence to buy it, mainly because, not because of the news itself, but because of the hype around the news. I knew that people have been latched onto this play for a very long time, and it has a pretty good story behind it. But as far as the actual bankruptcy goes, they're a shell company. I'll go into that later in this video. Let's just talk about the trade. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. So I saw the bankruptcy news right at around 0.018, and when I saw it, that's when I bought it. But I didn't just buy randomly. I bought it right here, actually, like 0.017 ish. I bought right here over this U-shaped breakout, a very small U-shaped breakout, but a U-shaped breakout nonetheless. You can see this was the high of day. This was the high of day. We dipped back down, tested the bottom of this candle. We held it, came back up and broke through, make a new high of day. Whenever there's a new high of day on a stock like this, all it does is it just brings in more buyers and more buyers and more buyers. People who were late to the play like me bought it right here, making the run just continue on up. And I was planning to sell at around 25 cents just for a nice profit, lock in those profits. But we didn't actually reach 25 cents, so we had a little pullback, and I was thinking that, okay, now that we're over 2 cents, we're gonna use that 2 cent level as nice support. So I used that 2 cent level as my stop loss, because this stock can move very fast, and because this news isn't actually legit, I believe that if it broke support, it was gonna break very hard. So I wanted to ensure my profits and just walk away from this trade with a profit no matter what. So we dipped back down. We almost touched that 20 or 2 cent level. Came back up, made a lower high, but a very gradual lower high. And make sure you keep that in mind. A very gradual lower high. It almost retested the high of day, but just stopped out just barely. And then we had the secondary drop, made a lower low, and actually cracked below this 2 cent level. And this is where I sold my shares. Like I said, I just wanted to really just protect myself on this trade. But looking back at it now, that was a emotional sell. I shouldn't have done that, mainly because I've been noticing that when it comes to these really obvious areas of support and resistance, what seems to be happening often is that it'll crack below it, but just a tiny bit, and be bought right back up. I was doing some research about this, and this one guy who trades Forex, he speculates that it's all just the market makers playing the swings, and they know that a lot of people are going to sell right when it breaks that mental resistance, that nice round number. So they buy up all those shares that get sold and flip it and make a nice profit. So I'm going to be paying attention to that more often now. I'm going to be paying attention to not setting my stop right below a mental resistance. I'm going to set it a little bit lower just in case a situation like this happens, because this has happened to me pretty often in the past couple weeks, where I get stopped out and it just bounces right back up, and it's pretty frustrating. So yeah, anyways, we made another bounce, made another lower high, but just barely a lower high. And right when I saw this happen, I knew that this was going to have a huge next leg up, because I saw the pattern that was forming. And this is my favorite pattern as far as these breakout stocks go, and it's called the gradual descending wedge. I talk about this pattern a lot, and this pattern has led to the biggest breakouts that I've seen. and it's basically just a gradual descending trend line. You can see all the tops of these candles, they have a very, very gradual slope to them. And at the same time, you can see that over here, we're getting higher lows. So it's getting squeezed into a wedge. And you can see that the Bollinger Bands are also getting very tight here. So all those three things combined together makes this pattern. This pattern works the best on low float plays like Soup Q and low float plays that have a lot of volume. And it works the absolute best when there's news, because that's just so many different catalysts working together to push this towards the upside. So right when I saw this pattern, I alerted on Twitter that guys, this is going to make another major move. Let me just bring up my tweets real fast. I was like, guys, this is going to make another major move, so you know, watch out. By that time, I already sold out my shares, made around $232 on that. Not going to complain because I still made profits, but I could have made thousands, and that's always a disappointment. Right here, Soup Q about to make another leg. And that was at, let's see if it'll give me, at 710. That was right around here, right before it happened. Right before it happened, I said it's gonna make another leg, and sure enough, it did. This turned into a very big move. This move itself was about 85% in 18 minutes, so congratulations to whoever acted on my alert. If you did, please, I always appreciate if you guys can send in your screenshots of your profits, just so I can prove these haters wrong, and show you guys that my teachings actually work, my strategies actually work, and my students are actually banking on these plays. So there's Soup Q. As far as the rest of the day goes, we made a high of around 0.0420 right there. Came back down, retested this nice mental resistance at 0.035, bounced off of it very nicely, continued on up, made another high, just broke out, and then we had a nice double top here, and that kind of signaled the end of this run, mainly because it was a double top on low volume. And then right after that double top, we had a nice clean break of the 13 exponential moving average here, breaking below the Bollinger Band midline. So that signaled the end of this move. I don't expect this to bounce anymore, mainly because that, okay, so the reason around Soup Q and their bankruptcy, the reason why I don't like it at all is because they were not bought out by a company. Like Soup Q itself wasn't bought out by another company. Their assets were bought. So what that essentially means, as far as I know, is that Soup Q is now a shell company. They have no assets, they have no employees, they have no manufacturing, they have nothing. They're basically just a ticker symbol and some documents. They have no actual physical company behind it. It's all been bought out by Gallant Brands. So they're taking over manufacturing, they're taking all the assets, moving it into a different location, and they're going to be reaping all the benefits and profits from it. None of that profit is going to go into Soup Q and its shareholders. It's going to go into Gallant Brands, a privately owned company. And please, if you have any argument against this, I would love to hear your opinion. I've been posting my thoughts about this on Twitter, on Investors Hub, on StockTwits, and no one can really give me a good, clear explanation as to why this bankruptcy news is good for Soup Q and its shareholders. So please, if you have any insight, I would love to hear it. The only thing I've been hearing is, oh, you're an idiot, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about, you're just a flipper, you're just a basher. But it gets these nice quick spikes, but it just fails and at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't expect us to go any higher than 6 cents, maybe if there's some crazy squeeze, but I don't really see it happening. So there's Soup Q. Let me show you some students who banked yesterday. Here's one of my students. He traded CRWI. He started learning with me around 2 weeks ago, I think. And yesterday his account size was $2,000. And he grew his account by 50% in a single day. Now it's worth $3,000. In one day, he was able to turn 2,000 into 3,000. And that just shows you the power of these penny stocks and the power of my strategies and the power of my teaching. What I teach actually works. I'm not some fraud. I'm not some scam. What I'm teaching is actually helping people. I have another student. His name's Kyle. I've talked about him before. And ever since he joined along with me, he's been absolutely killing it. Let me just bring up his profit chart on Profitly. He's been banking ever since he joined along with me at the beginning of September. So just around 1 month now. And you can see right here, right when he joined me, his profits have changed. He's up around $4,000 now. And let's look at his actual trades. He's become very consistent, and he's been able to know how to lock in his profits. 'Cause that's two things he's had trouble with. Before he found me, he was more of a he kind of played the stock market like a lottery, and he was pretty damn good at it. He knew which ones to pick, but he wouldn't know when to lock in his profits. And ever since joining along with me, he's been able to lock in his profits very well and trade these stocks amazingly. So shout out to you, Kyle. You've been a great student, so I hope you can stick around with me for as long as possible, and I hope to meet you in person one day, because I'd love to. So yeah, you can see this one, $1,800 on AZFL. He's been killing it. All these profits and he's been cutting his losses very fast. So yeah, that's it for this lesson. I'll be making another video on CAPR and my trade today. So basically, what the ending thought to this this lesson is that you need to focus on stocks that are low float and have a nice news catalyst behind them, because as you've seen, those are the stocks that run hundreds of percentage points in a single day. If you can focus on low floats, focus on stocks that have a good press releases behind them, not that the actual news is good, but the hype around it is good, and also some nice chart patterns, you can really play these stocks like a business and really make some very good money off of it. So that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any requests or comments, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks.